Hey, all you sinners and sodomites. Welcome to a brand new podcast. Aren't you excited? A new one.
I bet they're excited.
In this world of 1.5 million podcasts. A brand new one to listen to. About religion, of all things. I'm Linz.
And I'm Josh.
And we're not experts on religion.
No.
And we're not religious.
No. Which is why we're the perfect ones to tell you about it.
Exactly.
So Lindsay and I are non-believers, but I started off my life being very much a Christian. Like, I really believed in it when I was a kid.
Oh boy, yeah.
It wasn't until I was around 25 years old that I decided that I did not believe in God anymore. And then for you, growing up, you were not as involved in Christianity, but It was a part of your life.
Yeah, so I was baptized Catholic, and we attended the local Catholic church for like a little while.
Which means you were baptized as a baby, right?
Yeah. Yep. They get you young.
Yep.
But I've dabbled, like, because I grew up in the northern part of the state of Michigan, right? I mean, it was just kind of part of your life to go to church. But I had also attended Mennonite church, and actually, I would say most of my religious background probably comes from interacting with the Mennonite church more than it does Catholicism. But I also realized, like, at a very young age, that it was all bullshit. So,
right. Did you ever, like, recreationally read the Bible?
No.
Yeah.
No. Yeah. My closest thing to reading the Bible is my copy of the Book of Genesis as illustrated by Crumb.
Right.
Which is an amazing book.
Yeah.
And the only way you're ever going to get me to read the Bible.
Right. I'm going to read ahead of...
And I'm not going to read it all.
Yeah. I'm going to read ahead on a story from the Bible that I know that, like, I think that Lindsay's going to be... find interesting, find weird, that kind of thing. And then Lindsay's not going to know what we're going to be talking about as we go into it most times, unless we're going to do like a two-parter like we're going to have this time. But the idea is I'm going to be surprising Lindsay. So Lindsay's going in completely cold hearing this, and it's going to be her reactions to it and things like that. So,
and fair warning, my reactions are going to be like, holy shit, that's fucked up.
Yeah.
Most of the time.
Yeah.
But not always. It really, at the end of the day, it's like just looking at this book that so many people follow and uses like a bedrock for their lives, and like delving into those parts that like they just kind of ignore.
Right.
Because they're so weird.
I'm going to be reading from the New International Version of the Bible, the NIV. And I'm not doing a ton of research. Might do a little bit of research here and there if I'm just curious about something. I might read the footnotes in the Bible and stuff like that. But really, the big point of this is to come at it as a layperson.
Sure.
You know, you're not like there should be a low barrier of entry for people coming into a religion. So we're looking at it kind of through fresh eyes.
Yeah.
Because it's been over a decade for me since I've really looked at these stories. So
we hope you enjoy the first episode of Bible Stories for Atheists. Jacob, Part 1.
I have 16 pages of notes.
Holy shit. For tonight?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so that's the thing. So when we started talking about doing this, it was because I was reading, or I wasn't reading to you. I was just reciting from memory the story of Moses.
Yes.
Which...
Why were we even talking about that?
I don't remember. I don't know. I can't remember how it came up. But so I was going off of my memory of it, and then you did not remember nearly as much of the details from it because you didn't have quite the Christian upbringing I had.
No.
So, and it kind of blew your mind.
It's just so ridiculous.
Yeah.
If that's what you mean by blew my mind.
Right.
Like the ridiculousness of it is massive.
Right. So I do still want to go through it because, like I said, that was me just going off of my own memory of it, which it had been quite a while since I had.
I think you were basing most of it off of a cartoon that you had watched.
A cartoon that most of America watched. It was a very popular movie, Prince of Egypt.
Was it?
It was very popular.
Was it DreamWorks? Did we have this?
Yeah, I think it was DreamWorks.
It's crazy that DreamWorks did that movie.
Yeah. So I was a big believer in it. Really loved it. Watched it many, many times.
How old were you when this movie came out?
I can't remember off the top of my head what year it came out, but I would imagine I would have been at least 13.
Okay.
Probably somewhere around there.
Still into the epic movie cartoons at that age?
Yeah. Well, yeah. Well, when they
1998,
were, 1998, so
yeah, you would have been like
12. No. 14.
I graduated in 1999.
Yeah, I would have been 14.
Yeah.
Yeah, math. Right. So anyway, we were talking about doing that, and I do still want to do that story, but I want to do it like where I actually read the Bible again and get a better understanding of the actual text. I'm not just going off of a cartoon.
Right.
My half memories of cartoons. But I thought it would be interesting to first go back a little ways and be like, and take a look at like, how did the Israelites get into Egypt in the first place?
History.
Yeah. Well, something like history.
Sure.
Is
this Bible history? Wait. So you're actually talking about maybe like the history from the Bible?
Yeah.
Of how the Israelites got into, you said Egypt?
Yes.
Not the actual literal history.
Right. Not
the biblical history.
The biblical history as told by the Bible.
All right.
And so we're going to start with a guy named Isaac.
Isaac.
Yes. So he had a brother named Ishmael.
Yep.
And I don't know if you're aware of this, but my own Christian upbringing, and this might be wrong. But according to my Christian upbringing, Ishmael is actually like sort of the father of Islam.
Sure.
Like that's where they branch off.
Right.
According to my Christian upbringing, I don't know if people who are Muslim have a different understanding of it. That might be the case. But just for a little context, Isaac is where that branches off. And that's where we're going to be starting here is...
We're not going to talk about the brothers. We're just going to talk about Isaac.
Yeah, we're going to talk about Isaac because really what we're going to be talking about is his son, Jacob.
Okay.
But we're going to start with
Jacob's
Isaac.
Ladder.
Yeah.
Does he have a ladder?
No, he doesn't.
Oh.
There's no ladder.
I thought maybe that movie was a Bible movie. I've never actually seen Jacob's Ladder.
Is that even a movie? It's a science experiment where like the electricity goes up the thing.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah. There's Jacob the Liar.
No, Jacob's Ladder is a fucking movie.
Oh, okay.
I worked at a video store.
You're not talking about the Robin Williams movie though, with Jacob the Liar.
No, not Jacob, because that's Jacob with a K, right?
I have no idea.
Jacob's Ladder is a 1990 horror movie.
Yeah, so that's basically the story of this. All right, so Isaac has a couple of kids. He has twins. And one of them is named Esau and one is named Jacob. Esau.
Hold on.
Yep.
The Esau and Jacob.
Right.
So Esau.
Yeah.
And Jacob.
Right. Yep. Esau. Here, let me get into the.
Is that the English? Like, was he named something else and that just translated to Jacob? Like, that seems like a very.
Well, here, let me. I can actually get into that.
Okay.
So we're starting in Genesis 25, and then verse 24. It says, "When the time came for her to give birth, their mom, there were twin boys in her womb. The first to come out was red, and his whole body was like a hairy garment.
Oh my God.
So they named him Esau. After this, his brother came out with his hand grasping Esau's heel. So he was named Jacob. Isaac was 60 years old when Rebekah gave birth to them." Late start for him. The footnote on this is Esau means hairy.
Okay. In
the original text. Which would have been
Aramaic?
Which I don't think Aramaic, if I remember correctly, and I'm totally might be wrong about this, but I think Aramaic is what they were using during the days of Christ.
Okay.
And I think at this point they would have been using Hebrew.
Okay. Because this is from the Old Testament, right?
Yes,
so
this is the Old Testament. Yes, this is the Torah. Okay. Exactly. So, and then Jacob means he grasps the heel, a Hebrew idiom for he deceives. That's what Jacob means.
Okay.
So that's where their names are from.
So,
and I will say this, Jacob does earn that name throughout this.
He is a deceiver.
Mm-hmm.
Do they I'm just trying to picture myself as a mother giving birth to a baby that's furry, like red and furry.
Yeah. And being like, well, I guess I'll name him Esau.
Like,
it does kind of sound like a donkey's
name. There was no,
name.
let's kill it mentality.
You would think so.
Back in those days, right? Yeah. That would have been almost
so often when you're reading the Old Testament, so often Christians will be like, well, the culture back then. And it's like, she just had a red and hairy baby. Why wasn't she just like drown it?
Right. It's red, right? Which is usually what the color demons are. Right. And hairy, which is, I mean, what's his name? What was her husband? Isaac? Wasn't Isaac like, what did you fuck?
What did you fuck? What did you fuck?
What did you
Not
fuck?
Who.
Yeah, what? What did you fuck?
Yeah.
Tell me now. I won't be mad, I promise.
Yeah.
Just tell me what you fucked.
And it must have been right before you fucked me because the other one looks fine. Anyway, so Esau grows up to be this hunter while, quote, and I'm quoting here, while Jacob was content to stay at home among the tents.
Okay. Like a normal teenager.
I guess, yeah. Yeah, he was an indoor kid.
Yeah. You know? And Esau was out running wild because
he was red and hairy.
Who knows who his dad was? Yeah. Could have been an animal.
Right. And then verse 28, Isaac, who had a taste for wild game, loved Esau.
Oh, God. Oh, my God.
But Rebecca loved Jacob. Now, I am kind of skipping a piece here where I think, if I remember right, Rebecca had a vision from God ahead of time that her second born was going to be like chosen by God, you know? Mm-hmm. And so, Isaac really loves his firstborn son, but Rebecca knows something special about Jacob, right?
Okay.
So continuing on, once when Jacob was cooking some stew, Esau came in from the open country famished. He said to Jacob, quick, let me have some of that red stew. I'm famished. And in parentheses here, it says, this is why he was also called Edom, which I think, if I remember right,
Spell
that was Edom.
Edom. Okay.
Which I think it translates to red. So like people also call them red. His names are Harry and Red.
Red, yeah.
Yeah.
A bit said he asked for red stew.
So he asked for red stew.
What?
I don't know. It doesn't make any sense.
What a very specific thing to put into the Bible.
Yeah.
The color of the stew.
Right. Yeah. And it's lentil stew too.
Oh, red lentils.
So it's red lentils. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Anyway.
That's fair.
Jacob replied, first, sell me your birthright. And Esau, of course, is like, look, I'm about to die. What good is a birthright to me?
What? Wait, what? Wait.
So he's going along with it.
But he...
For some stew.
No, but he said he's about to die.
Yeah.
Like he just knows he's about to die?
Apparently. He's that hungry.
Is this...
Is
that why he's about to die?
He's famished.
Yeah,
They say it twice, that he's famished.
That's not like...
I know.
Starvation.
And he just came from the open country. What bothers me about this is why doesn't he just make himself some stew?
Yeah. Well, and you said he likes to hunt, right?
Yeah.
Well, then he's not a very good hunter.
I guess not.
Or else he wouldn't be famished.
Right, exactly. But
so he's about to die of hunger. He's being very dramatic.
Yes.
And
this whole thing, let's just set the tone now. This whole thing is like a soap opera.
How do you know approximately how old these boys are at this moment? Are we thinking?
I don't know for sure. I would say under 40. Okay. It's so hard to tell in the Bible because literally Isaac just had them at 60 years old.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, men live
the ages are so weird in this.
200 in that book.
I swear to God, I think that
Rebecca was probably 12.
I think back then. Yeah. I think back then
Gross.
they would measure like every 6 months as a year or something like that. I don't know if that's true or anything, but like that's what it seems like. Anyway. But Jacob said, "Swear to me first." So he swore an oath to him, selling his birthright to Jacob.
For stew.
Then Jacob gave Esau some bread. Oh, so he also got some bread out of it. And some lentil stew. He ate and drank and then got up and left. So Esau despised his birthright. And that's what the Bible says about that.
That's where that story ends?
That's where that chapter ends. Yep.
He sold his birthright for some stew and bread.
Yep.
Which, in theory, had his mother come in, and she would have just slapped Jacob on the back of the head and be like, give your brother some fucking stew.
Yeah.
Right?
No, not this lady.
No?
Not this lady. This lady loved Jacob more than she did Esau.
Yeah, but she didn't have any sort of like, I have to keep this thing alive. I didn't kill it at birth. I have to keep it alive mentality.
I don't know. I would not be surprised because in this next story, she actually sets up a thing for Jacob to do to Esau to screw him over.
Oh God. All right.
Yeah. So Genesis 26. So there's this famine in the land.
Yeah. They ate all the lentils.
And this is going to be taking a bit of a sidetrack. So we started talking about Jacob and Esau a little bit here, but now we're going to talk about Isaac for a minute.
Okay.
There's this famine in the land. So Isaac went to a place called Gerar, Gerar. I'm gonna screw up all of these.
That's fine. They don't matter. They're not real.
Yeah. Some of them are real. Like, some of these places are places.
I guess you're right. But yeah.
But yeah. And there's a whole thing about God telling him that this is where he's supposed to be, and he's going to have to
Gerar.
He's going to have a bunch of descendants, right? So
in Gerar.
Not necessarily in Gerar, just in general.
He's going to have more babies.
God shows up,
tells him to fuck a bunch.
He's going to have a bunch of descendants. Yeah. Not necessarily that he's going to have kids, but his kids will have kids and that kind of stuff, right?
Sure.
It's an ongoing theme. God showing up and being like, "Hey, by the way, you're going to have a bunch of kids."
Yeah,
you know,
propagate the species.
Right. And then verse 7, when the men of the place asked him about his wife, he said, "She is my sister," because he was afraid to say, "She is my wife." Why? He thought the men of this place might kill me on account of Rebecca because she is so beautiful. Because she is beautiful.
I thought he was just trying to be like, she's so ugly, I don't want to claim her as my own.
No. It's much more cowardly.
She's so beautiful that they might stab me so that they can then go have their way with her.
Right.
I see.
So I'll just say she's my sister because when you think about it, it makes sense. When you think about it, if they want to just, rape her, they're going to do it either way.
Right.
But if he says...
Then they won't kill him.
Yeah.
Right. I see.
So one way or another, she's getting raped.
Yeah.
Right.
But women were not treated well in the Bible.
But we go this way, then he's not getting killed.
Okay.
In the process.
Yeah. He's a pussy.
Right.
Right.
And after they've been there, quote, a long time, the king, Abimelech, sees him caressing Rebecca.
Oh.
And then verse 9, so Abimelech summoned Isaac and said, "She is really your wife. Why did you say she is my sister?" Isaac answered him, "Because I thought I might lose my life on account of her." Then Abimelech said, "What is this that you have done to us? One of the men might well have slept with your wife, and you could have brought guilt upon us. So Abimelech gave orders to all the people, anyone who harms this man or his wife shall surely be put to death.
Okay. Let's be very clear on what you just said.
Yeah.
He says, this bitch is my sister.
Yep.
Don't kill me. Just whatever.
Right.
If you're going to fuck her. Just don't kill me because I'm not married to her.
Is essentially what he was putting out there.
And then the king sees them canoodling in public and is like, ew.
Yeah. Oh, wait. No.
She's your wife, right?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. What? And then, so he's pissed because of...
If he had sex with her...
If anybody in the kingdom would have had sex with her...
That would have brought guilt upon them.
The entire kingdom.
I guess so.
Because,
which I don't know if, like, by kingdom, is that, like, 20 people?
Right.
You know?
Yeah, I guess.
In a gated community.
It's such a weird, like... was he held in high regard in this area?
Not yet. They had just moved there, so not yet.
Okay, so is the king, like, is he this closely entrenched in every citizen's life?
I don't know. It's really weird.
It's a lot of micromanaging.
If you want to get a little bit weirder, we can take a step back to Genesis 12. There's an interesting story back there that kind of relates to this. So this is Genesis 12:10. And this is about Isaac's father, who's called Abraham. Later, he's called Abraham. At first, he's called Abram. So in this story, he's called Abram.
Okay.
Right. His name changes.
Does he change his name? Does he change it?
The Lord does.
The Lord changes his name for him. Okay. Yep.
So this is 12:10. Now there was a famine in the land.
Okay.
So again,
another famine.
Yeah. And Abram went down to Egypt to live there for a while because the famine was so severe. As he was about to enter Egypt, he said to his wife Sarai, who later her name becomes Sarah.
Right.
I know what a beautiful woman you are. When the Egyptians see you, they will say, "This is his wife." Then they will kill me, but will let you live. Say you are my sister so that I will be treated well for your sake, and my life will be spared because of you. Okay.
Ongoing trend.
Yeah. When Abram came to Egypt, the Egyptians saw that Sarai was a very beautiful woman. And when Pharaoh's officials saw her, they praised her to Pharaoh, and she was taken to his palace. He treated Abram well for her sake, and Abram acquired sheep and cattle and male and female donkeys and male and female servants and camels.
Just because this lady was hot?
Yeah. She must have been real good looking.
Super hot, right? Yeah.
But the Lord inflicted serious diseases on Pharaoh and his household because of Abram's wife Sarai.
She gave him herpes.
Right. So Pharaoh summoned Abram. What have you done to me? Pharaoh says to Abram.
I like how communicable diseases are Lord's punishment.
What's funny though is, like, I don't know how Pharaoh figured that what's going on here, because Pharaoh summoned Abram. What have you done to me? He said. Why didn't you tell me she was your wife? Why did you say she is my sister so that I took her to be my wife? Now then, here is your wife. Take her and go. And then Pharaoh gave orders about Abram to his men, and they sent him on his way with his wife and everything he had. So he got all this free stuff for letting Pharaoh fuck his wife.
And Pharaoh got herpes.
Yeah.
And then didn't kill him because the Lord punished him for fucking his wife. Right. So he was probably like, well, I fucked her and I got herpes. If I kill him, I'm probably going to get, like, it's probably chlamydia or something.
Right? Yeah. You want to hear another interesting story?
Well, isn't that the whole concept?
I guess so. So Genesis 20 is really interesting. Now Abraham is now known as Abraham.
Okay.
Now Abraham moved on from there into a region of the blah, blah, blah. He's in Gerar, the same city that Isaac was in, right?
All right.
And there Abraham said of his wife Sarah, "She is my sister." Then Abimelech, same guy,
king of
Gerar, sent for Sarah and took her. But God came to Abimelech in a dream one night and said to him, you are as good as dead, because basically God is like, you're going to die because you took this guy's wife. And Abimelech's like, hey, I didn't mean to. She said she was she was
legal.
Yeah. Wasn't trying to. And God does like a 180 on him, like goes from playing bad cop to good cop. And he's like, yep, I knew that. I knew you didn't know. And that's why I didn't let you sleep with her. So he never actually slept with her or anything.
Right.
But he was like, give her back or otherwise you're going to die. Early the next morning, Abimelech summoned all his officials. And when he told them what happened, they were much afraid. Then Abimelech called Abraham in and said, what have you done to us?
Oh, my God.
How have I wronged you that you would have brought such great guilt upon me and my kingdom? You have done things to me that should never be done. And Abimelech asked Abraham, what was your reason for doing this? Abraham replied, I said to myself, there is surely no fear of God in this place, and they will kill me because of my wife. Besides, she really is my sister.
She really is his sister?
Yeah.
Oh, they really are brother and sister?
They really are brother and sister. She, the daughter of my father, though not my mother, because that would be weird. And she became my wife. And then God.
So half sister.
Yeah.
I mean, it's half less weird, I guess.
It's half as weird.
So, okay. So
they're brother and sister and man and wife.
Yeah. So he's not lying, I guess.
Not really.
Yeah.
No. And then.
God let that happen.
Yeah. And when God had me wander from my father's household, I said to her, this is how you can show your love to me. Everywhere we go, say of me, he is my brother. Then Abimelech brought sheep and cattle and male and female slaves and gave them to Abraham. And he returned Sarah, his wife, to him. And Abimelech said, my land is before you. Live wherever you like.
This guy's a grifter.
I know.
Holy
it's like
shit.
It's like he's running a con.
Oh my God. Also, why?
And then he taught it to his son.
Yeah, 100%. That is exact. Why isn't God like? I mean, he keeps going to talk to these kings and be like, "You took this guy's wife. What the hell are you doing?" Why isn't he going to Abraham and being like, "Bitch, stop telling people she's your sister. I gotta keep fucking coming and getting your back for shit. This is ridiculous." I don't want to kill these people.
You're going to make me kill. One of these days, you're going to make me wipe out an entire city. I swear to God. I swear to me.
Listen, like, I know she's legit actually your sister, but like, come on, man. This is a lot of work.
She's not that hot.
There's like hundreds of other people who live in this world, you know. I gotta fucking deal with their bullshit too.
Literally hundreds of people in the world. I'm trying to remember if there's like anything else worth reading in the story. Oh yeah. So
isn't this the plot of the movie Matchbox Men? Or Matchstick Men?
Matchstick Men. Yeah. To Sarah, he said, I'm giving your brother 1,000 shekels of silver. This is to cover the offense against you before all who are with you. You are completely vindicated. Right. So,
because women would be killed if they had cheated on their husbands. Right.
Right. Yeah.
So, but instead they're like, here's some money, ho. We're good now, right? Your god pimp isn't going to come slap me again.
Right. And of course, women couldn't have the money.
Right.
They have to give it to her brother husband.
Her brusband.
Her brusband. That's better than husband.
It is way better than that.
So a couple differences between these stories, though, like, you know, like in this one, we actually know, like the first one, we didn't know how Pharaoh could figure out that she was his wife. She
probably told him. I mean,
probably. This one, we actually do know that God came and told them.
Yeah.
The first one, they had diseases and stuff like that. And that similarity isn't really in here. There's a couple extra verses here. Then Abraham prayed to God, and God healed Abimelech, his wife,
from his herpes,
his female slaves, so they could have children again.
Oh yeah, it totally was.
For the Lord had kept all the women in Abimelech's household from conceiving because of Abraham's wife Sarah. So, like, there's this whole disease going on, and that doesn't come up until right at the end of the chapter.
I think there's a sexually transmitted disease. I think it's chlamydia that if you don't treat it, will make you infertile. So they just legit all had chlamydia, right?
It might be. It might be.
Or whatever.
Magic chlamydia.
Something. I'm still stuck on this whole God coming down to keep telling people that not to have sex with this woman. And like, what kind of dream is that when, like, all right, so if you're, what's his name? Abby Malik?
Abby Malik is the king.
Abby Malik?
Yeah, that's as good of a pronunciation as I had.
Like Terrence Malick, but Abby Malik.
Yeah, I kept thinking of Rami Malek.
Okay, yep, all right. So you have this new hot lady.
Yeah.
And you haven't slept with her yet.
Right.
For some reason. Turns out it's God.
Yeah.
And then you go to sleep and like, does God just come up and like really creepily like whisper in your ear like, hey, don't fuck that lady.
Right.
And just gives him the whole rundown? Or is it like...
This was in a dream.
Right. But like, you know, does he whisper it in his ear and that's where the dream comes from?
Yeah, I don't know.
Or is it like the big booming image of God that they always show where it's like, Abimelech, you shall not have sexual penetration with this woman.
You might be surprised to know the Bible doesn't provide a lot of details on those important things. There's a surprising lack of detail on some stuff that you would think there would be more detail.
Right, but we know that the stew was red.
Is red. Yep, we know that.
All right.
All right, so
Jacob, like father, like son.
Like father, like son with Isaac. Isaac is the one
which is funny because Jacob's not the one that Isaac likes, right? Isaac likes
Esau.
The hairy boy.
Yeah, the hairy boy. Right. But Isaac was the one who did that with his wife, right?
Right.
Yeah. So, all right. So going back to the story of Isaac, we went on our little tangent there.
Yep.
But Isaac's crops grow like crazy in this new region that he's in.
Sure.
Gerar.
Yeah. And, the Nile Delta.
Right.
Yep.
Because he is blessed and he becomes rich.
Okay.
He became so rich that the Philistines, who were the people in the area, clogged up his wells. I don't know. It was just their way of getting back at them.
They poop in them?
I don't know.
Is that where the Golgotham comes from?
The Golem?
The Golgotham, right? The shit demon?
Oh, I know which one you're talking about. From Dogma? Yeah. The king tells him that he needs to, quote, move away from us. You have become too powerful for us. So they leave the valley. They leave and then they go to the valley of Gerar and open these wells back up that they had clogged, which to me makes it sound like they basically moved like 3 miles west or something like that. You know, Like, it doesn't sound like they really went that far. There's a lot of well digging at this point in the story.
Okay. Water's important.
He digs a well. What?
Water's important.
Yeah. Especially if you're trying to grow crops.
Right.
He digs a well. Some herders come over and fight him over it.
Over the well.
Yep. Okay. So he digs another well.
Okay.
They come and fight him over that one.
All right.
Finally, he digs another one and nobody fights him over
So that's the well.
So he's like, now we have room to flourish. Yep. So I think
you know what it reminds me of is, and I always go back to this movie for exact things like this moment in this movie is in the Lego movie. Mm-hmm. There's a scene where they're trying to get into the big corporation, right? And they take Lego Batman with them. Yeah. And he's trying to hit the button with the Batarang. And he throws it like 50 times. And then he hits it and he's like, first try.
Right. Yeah. It's kind of what it reads like. Yep.
Well.
God appears to him and says that he's going to increase his number. More descendants. You're going to have so many descendants. You won't even know what to do with them.
Sure.
Trust me. The second time in this chapter alone, God does that. So, of course, verse 25, Isaac built an altar there and called on the name of the Lord. There he pitched his tent.
Oh, that's real sexy there for a minute.
And there his servants dug a well.
Where he pitched his tent? They dug the well?
I'm starting to think wells were basically like the Teslas of the day. Like it was the new hip technology, maybe.
Yes. You know? The more wells you had, the more.
It was like investing in GameStop.
Did you see this guy? He's got 5 wells.
Yeah.
5.
And he's invested in Bitcoin.
We share like one between 20 of us.
Let's see. So then the king shows up again.
Abimelech?
Yeah, Abimelech. He wants to have a treaty with Isaac because they saw that God was with him.
Okay.
So they all eat and drink, and the next morning they swear an oath of peace before they leave. And then verse 34, when Esau was 40 years old, so I was right, they were under 40. When Esau was 40 years old, he married Judith, daughter of Beeri the Hittite, and also Basemath, the daughter of Elon the Hittite. And verse 35 is, they were a source of grief to Isaac and Rebekah. And that's all they say of it.
That's it.
There's no explanation of that. Like why they were a source of grief, what they were doing.
Those 2 wives
were they microwaving fish? I don't know.
Was it because he married 2? I mean, that was normal, right?
Married 2 wives? No, it's not because of that. It later, like they do kind of like hint at they don't like the Hittites.
Oh,
but they don't really say what they were doing that annoyed them or anything like that.
Just being Hittites.
Yeah, just
Hittite.
They're just Hittiting all over the place.
They're being Hittites.
All right, so that's 26, Genesis 27. We're just going to read this chapter straight through, basically, because it's...
I forget, chapters are short, right? It's not like a real
book. They're not like...
chapter.
No.
They're like a little paragraph.
They're like a page.
Okay.
Or
all right, you're going to read all of it?
But yeah, because it's out there.
Okay.
So this is Genesis 27. When Isaac was old and his eyes were so weak that he could no longer see, he called for Esau, his older son, and said to him, "My son." Mm-hmm. "Here I am," he answered.
Here I am.
Again, I'm not kidding. It's like a soap opera. Isaac said, "I am now an old man and don't know the day of my death. Now then, get your equipment, your quiver and bow, and go out to the open country to hunt some wild game for me. Prepare me the kind of tasty food I like, and bring it to me to eat, so that I may give you my blessing before I die." Now Rebekah, his wife, was listening, and as Isaac spoke to his son Esau. When Esau left for the open country to hunt game and bring it back, Rebekah said to her son Jacob, "Look, I overheard your father say to your brother Esau, 'Bring me some game and prepare me some tasty food to eat.'" I'm just going to do that every time.
Great. Love it.
So that I may give
Everyone else loves it too.
Yeah. So that I may give you my blessing in the presence of the Lord before I die. Now, my son, listen carefully. Do what basically she's like, you're going to deceive your father.
Yeah, go do what he said he was going to do, but pretend
do it faster.
Pretend you're him.
Yeah.
Like I mean.
Right. So Jacob said to his mother, "But my brother Esau is a hairy man, while I have smooth skin."
What? Oh, so like if he touches him?
Yeah. What if my father touches me? I would appear to be tricking him, and I would bring down a curse upon myself rather than a blessing. So his mom says, basically just let me worry about that. You go make the tasty food, and I'll handle the rest. So he went. He makes the food. Rebekah.
I'm sorry. The what?
Makes the tasty food.
Okay. I got confused.
Yeah. You didn't know which food I was talking about. Right. Exactly. Rebekah took the best clothes of Esau, her older son, and which she had in the house, and put them on her younger son, Jacob. She also covered his hands and the smooth part of his neck with goat skins. Then she handed to her son, Jacob, the tasty food, and the bread she made. When he went to his father and said, "My father." "Yes, my son," he answered. "Who is it?" Jacob said to his father, "I am Esau, your firstborn. I have done as you told me. Please sit up and eat some of my game." so that you may give me your blessing. Isaac asked his son, how did you do it so quickly, my son? The Lord your God gave me success, he replied. Then Isaac said to Jacob, come near me so that I can touch you, my son, to know whether you really are my son Esau or not. Jacob went close to his father Isaac, who touched him and said, the voice is the voice of Jacob, but the hands are the hands of Esau. He did not recognize him, for the hands were hairy like those of his brother Esau, so he proceeded to bless him. Are you really my son Esau? He asked. I am, he replied. My son, bring me your game to eat so that I may give you my blessing. And then he gives him his blessing, like does this whole thing where he basically is handing down the blessing that God gave him originally
to his son,
and it's passing it on.
And God's not going to be like, I saw what you did.
Right. No, God doesn't seem to care. It's really treated like it's almost like witchcraft at that point, where it's like this is an incantation almost that he's doing. After Isaac finished blessing him and Jacob had scarcely left his father's presence, this is where it gets really funny. His brother Esau came in from hunting. He too prepared some tasty food and brought it to his father. Then he said to him, my father, please sit up and eat some of my game so that you may give me your blessing. His father Isaac asked him, who are you? I am your son, he answered, your firstborn, Esau. Isaac trembled violently and said, who was it then that hunted game and brought it to me? I ate it just before you came, and I blessed him, and indeed he will be blessed. It gets really weirdly dramatic, this text. But when Esau heard his father's words, he burst out with a loud and bitter cry and said to his father, bless me too, my father. But he said, your brother came and deceitfully took your blessing.
I only got one blessing.
Yeah.
I just picture, because I know that he's hairy, I just picture Chewbacca yell.
Yeah. Exactly. Esau said, isn't he rightly named Jacob? Because of the whole heel grabber thing.
Oh, yeah.
This is the second time he has taken advantage of me. He took my birthright, and now he's taking my blessing.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Let's pull up okay, Esau, let's pull it back a minute.
Yeah.
Bitch.
Whose fault was that first one? Really?
You're an idiot.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. You deserved that first one. He just had made... Are you telling me there was no other place in the fucking world you could have gotten some food? Right. You were literally that hungry that you were like, I will 100% do it. I will suck your dick for some fucking red stew. Oh, you just want me to give you my birthright? That's better. Now I don't have to suck a dick.
It would be weird, but these are old-timey days. Our grandfather was married to his sister. I don't know if you want me to suck your dick.
Right. What do I need to do?
I just want some stew.
And clearly this is the only joint open 24 hours. I'm a terrible hunter, apparently, because I was just hunting. Again, I'm hungry. I must have not killed anything. So stupid.
So Esau held a grudge against Jacob because of the blessing his father had given him. He said to himself, the days of mourning my father are near, and then I will kill my brother Jacob. When Rebekah was told what her older son Esau had said, she sent for her younger son Jacob and said to him, your brother Esau is planning to avenge himself by killing you. Now then, my son, do as I say. Flee at once to my brother Laban in Haran. Stay with him for a while until your brother's fury subsides. When your brother is no longer angry with you and forgets.
Yeah, he'll just totally get over that whole deceit thing.
Yeah, I'll send word for you to come back. And why should I lose both of you in one day? When Rebekah said to Isaac, I'm disgusted with living because of these Hittite women. So the Esau's wives. I'm disgusted with living because of these Hittite women. If Jacob takes a wife from among these women of the land, from Hittite women like these, my life will not be worth living. So she's getting she's getting Isaac to let him go off and find another wife.
That's her reason why he's leaving.
Yeah.
not because she was pre-warning him against
Right.
his brother's wrath. I think it's funny that she they're twins. They were born at almost the exact same time, and she 100% differentiates between the elder and the younger brother.
Yeah. Yeah. Which everybody did, but normally it was the opposite direction, right? It was favoring the older over the younger.
Right.
So, yeah.
Yeah, but they're not, by seconds.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. But that's enough. That's enough.
And can we talk about how a father of boys who are 40
right.
does not know their voices?
Right. Yeah.
At all.
Well, he said it was the voice of Jacob, but it was the hands of Esau. And that was good enough for him.
Right. And so, in my head, if I had twins and they came in and I closed my eyes and I heard both of them and then I touched them and they felt different, I would assume that they did something to their bodies to make them feel different. Right. Not that they very cleverly masked their fucking voice to sound like their sibling.
Right. For no reason. Right. So basically...
these are the people who this religion is based on.
Yeah.
It's the fucked up part.
Yeah. No, I know.
So stupid.
What's really funny, too, is in the next chapter, in 28... verse 6, now Esau learned that Isaac had blessed Jacob and sent him to Padan Aram to take a wife from there, and that when he blessed him, he commanded him, do not marry a Canaanite woman, which is basically what Hittites were, I guess.
Okay.
And that Jacob obeyed his father and mother and had gone to Padan Aram. Esau then realized how displeasing the Canaanite women were to his father Isaac. So he went to Ishmael and married Malath, the sister of Nebalith and daughter of Ishmael, son of Abraham. Basically, he went off and was like, oh, you don't like Canaanite women? Well, I'm going to marry my cousin.
Right.
So he went off and married his cousin.
Okay.
A lot of inbreeding going on.
Yeah. There was only 100 people.
In the world.
Right.
Yeah. So eventually they're all going to be related.
Yeah.
So anyway, Jacob went out on this journey. One night he had a dream where he saw a staircase resting on the earth. And
it's Jacob's ladder.
Yeah, it's a staircase, but okay. Who knows? Maybe there's another translation where it translates to ladder.
Maybe.
That could be. That really could be. I don't know. Maybe that is where
Jacob's ladder is probably named for the scientists that discovered it.
I don't know.
Likely, right?
Maybe. But one night he had a dream, saw a staircase resting on the earth and going up into the heavens. Angels were going up and down the staircase. Above the staircase was God. And guess what God told him? Like, just take a wild guess based on everything we know of God talking to him so far.
You are the chosen one.
Close.
Go have sex with... Don't tell people that your wife is your sister.
I wish that was... He said he was going to have a bunch of descendants.
Oh, okay. All right.
So now I do wonder,
though... Is this the only time that the stairway to heaven appears in the Bible? Or is this an ongoing theme?
To my knowledge, it's the only place that it appears.
That it mentions the stairway to heaven.
Off the top of my head, yeah.
What a fucking iconic sort of symbol.
Yeah. That
was created out of that one tiny section.
Oh, yeah. And a great song.
I'm picturing, right? It's a sad song, but... Yeah. Because, I'm picturing literally like the dude on the throne at the top of the staircase and just angels going up and down like on an escalator.
Right.
And
on an escalator.
On an escalator. Because they float. I don't know why there's stairs. They have wings.
I don't know why there's stairs at all either.
Who's going up the stairs? Did he go up the stairs to talk to God?
Are these modern stairs?
Did God just yell down the stairs at him?
Right.
Hey! You down there.
Was it like as he was on his way to the bathroom?
Just what a weird...
I do wonder if he has this crazy dream, though, because he was using a fucking rock as a pillow. It might have been cutting off some circulation to his brain. But Jacob took that rock and he set it up as a pillar, poured oil on it, and he called it Bethel.
Okay. A rock with some oil on it.
Yeah.
Okay. Did he do? It's just,
he called the area Bethel.
It was the oil meant to like what, sanctify
anoint it?
Okay.
Yeah, something.
All
like
right.
that, basically.
I was like, was he trying to light the rock on fire?
That's when the drugs really kicked in. Burning Man. He's just alone in the desert.
Woo! This is awesome.
The Bible does point out, though, that the city used to be called Luz.
Luz?
Luz. L-U-Z. Yep.
Bethel's better.
Just really makes a point to let us know about that. Then verse 20, then Jacob made a vow saying, if God will be with me and will watch over me on this journey I am taking and will give me food to eat and clothes to wear so that I return safely to my father's household, then the Lord will be my God, and this stone that I have set up as a pillar will be God's house, and all that you give to me, I will give you a tenth. So this is basically like, I don't know if you remember.
Who's he saying this to?
He's saying this to God.
Okay, so he's giving God
a tenth of everything that he gets from God.
But he's also giving God like some sort of ultimatum. Right?
If you protect
like,
me.
if you give me shit, then I'll go tell people that you're real.
Right. Well, he's not even saying that. He's saying, if you give me shit, I'll give you back a tenth of it.
Right, but...
Which is really not a good return rate.
Before that, though, he says, to go back and talk to my dad, then I will say that you're God. And that everyone should believe in you. Yeah. And I'm like, hasn't he done enough for you already by this point? If I were God at that point, and he said that to me, I would have been like, did you just see the staircase I made out of nowhere? What else do I need to do?
Right. Yeah.
You wouldn't be here if I didn't fucking keep coming in to help your family because they can't stop telling people that their wives are their sister. Right. What is wrong with you people?
Yeah.
What do I have to do? Now I have to give you shit? I don't like this at all.
Yeah.
I guess this is what we're doing, though.
It just never ends. It's like you just are never happy.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, that's a good name. I think I remember that for some reason. Make it a band name or something.
It'll come into play later, I think.
Yeah. Name a book. Genesis 29. Jacob finds his uncle Laban. However, I pronounce it.
Is it L-A-B-A-N?
L-A-B-A-N. Laban.
Probably Laban.
Who's very happy to see him and takes him in. And then the Bible says, after Jacob stayed with him a whole month, Laban said to Laban, I'm never going to pronounce it the same way, said to him, just because you are a relative of mine, should you work for me for nothing? Tell me what your wages should be. Now, Laban had two daughters. The name of the older was Leah, and the name of the younger was Rachel. Did you know this?
Leah and Rachel.
You had some familiarity in your...
Princess Leia.
Oh, Princess Leia. No, spelled differently.
Oh, okay.
Leia had... So, older sister of Leia is Leia. Younger sister is Rachel. Leia had weak eyes. But Rachel had a lovely figure and was beautiful.
Okay.
Jacob was in love with Rachel and said... His cousin.
Yep.
Both of them his cousin.
Yep.
And said,
that's my wage.
I will work for you for 7 years in return for your younger daughter, Rachel.
Your cousin. My cousin.
My cousin. Laban said, it's better that I give her to you than to some other man, so stay here with me.
Yep.
So Jacob stayed for 7 years to get Rachel. But they seemed like only a few days because of his love for her.
His cousin.
Then Jacob said to Laban, give me my wife. My time is completed, and I want to make love to her.
Oh, God. All right.
His cousin.
Yes.
So Laban has this whole feast. He but then he pulls the switcheroo on him on the night of.
Oh, and throws Rachel at him?
And no, Leia.
Oh, Leia.
The older
Sorry,
one.
that's right.
Yep, the one with the weak eyes.
Yes. What does that mean?
I don't know.
What are weak eyes?
I don't know. Maybe she just couldn't see well.
Cross-eyed? That could be off-putting.
Had a goat kicked her at some point.
He's got a lazy eye, maybe, and he's like, I don't know if she's looking at me or you.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I don't mean to make fun of people with lazy eyes.
Right. No. The Bible's making fun of them.
Yeah, obviously.
So he brings in Leia to Jacob. Jacob has sex with her. There's no mention of a disguise or anything.
Yeah, it's dark.
I guess. They don't say. When morning came, there was Leia. That's what the Bible says.
So it must have
There's
been
an
dark.
exclamation point in everything.
What is there?
Yeah.
Wow.
There was Leia.
Whoa.
So Jacob said to Laban, what is this you have done to me? Yet again, we hear that line.
Yep. Nobody can take any sort of ownership of their own mistakes.
Right. Yeah. I served you for Rachel, didn't I? Why have you deceived me? Laban replied, it is not our custom here to give the younger daughter in marriage before the older one. Finish this daughter's bridal week, then we will give you the younger one also in return for another 7 years of
Oh my
work.
goodness.
Yeah. And Jacob did so. He finished the week with Leah. And then Laban gave him his daughter Rachel to be his wife. Laban gave his servant Bilhah to his daughter Rachel as her attendant. Jacob made love to Rachel also. Just throwing that in there.
That's a cousin.
Yeah. And his love for Rachel was greater than his love for Leah.
Well, no shit.
Yeah.
He was kind of shotgunned into that situation.
And he worked for Laban for another 7 years.
Is this part of God's plan?
Yeah.
For him? That's so weird.
So Jacob married both of his cousins. The Lord decided that Leah was unloved.
Yeah, no shit.
Yeah, so she would get pregnant. So he's saying, all right, since you're not loved, I'm going to get you pregnant. Not I'm going to.
Right.
That comes later.
Yeah, I only do that once.
Yeah.
I'm not Zeus.
I'm a one-time guy with that.
Not the fucking Romans over here.
Right. So he lets her get pregnant, and she has a son named Reuben, who went on to invent a very popular sandwich. She has another son named Simeon, whose sandwich was less popular.
Simeon?
Yep. And she had a third son named Levi, who didn't like sandwiches but made some really great pants.
Levi's the only name that I actually recognize from the Bible.
Yeah.
Is
there's also
Levi?
Jesus. This is the only Levi I know of. Oh, wait, no. I think Levi was also the name of Matthew in the Gospels, if I remember right.
Okay.
I might be wrong about that. But and then finally she had a fourth son named Judah, who didn't like sandwiches or pants.
Not Judas.
Not Judas. Judah. Judah.
Okay.
And that's about halfway through. So I'm kind of thinking we could make this a two-parter.
Yeah.
Because I think we've gone pretty far with it.
So we've gotten through, okay. It's so disconnected. So he poured oil over a rock and was like, this is going to be the Holy Land, right? Basically.
Sort of. But then he goes, Bethel.
Okay.
I don't know if my understanding of the geography of where exactly was like, I don't know if anybody actually knows where any of this stuff was supposed to be, where the land was that was supposed to be
go find the rock.
Just go find that rock.
It's got oil on it.
It's got oil on it and it's standing up.
In the middle of the desert.
And it's in the middle of the desert. How many could there be?
0.
They've only put up 50 in this book of the Bible alone.
Oh, have they?
Yeah, they keep making pillars throughout the book of Genesis. So, of course, nobody remembers which one's which.
Right. Okay. What a weird system to find things.
Yeah.
They must have... Maybe that's where Stonehenge came from. Somebody took a vacation up to the north and was like, this is it now.
Let's put this up to remember where we part.
So he did that, and he was like, give me shit so I can go back to my dad.
Yeah.
And exclaim that you are the one true God or something like that. But then he goes to his uncle's and he stays there for 14 years.
Yeah. Well, no, he's still there. He stays longer than that even.
So, but he never goes. His dad's got to be dead. His dad was dying.
No, it's not. His dad's not dead. His dad will die when he gets back. Just spoiler alert.
So his dad has been dying for 14 years now.
his dad, I guess so. Because it said he was getting old.
He kind of got on top of that blessing thing a little too early, I think, right? He still had quite a long time to pass that on. Yeah,
and he doesn't seem that blessed yet.
No, not if he's yet. Dying for 14 years.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Do you think that after he lost his sight, his wife, what was her name?
Rachel. No, wait, Rebecca.
Do you think she just swapped in somebody else to have sex with him? After that?
Yeah. And he was like, well, it's the voice of your servant.
But it feels like a vagina, so I'm happy.
So I don't care.
Exactly. Oh, man.
Yeah.
You know what? If you took this story and turned it into a modern day tale that took place, let's say, in the Appalachian Mountains, people would be like, what the fuck?
Right.
What is this? Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
There's incest. There's fucking people seeing shit in the sky.
Yeah.
There's people putting oil on rocks.
Right. Sleeping on the rock and then putting it up. Yeah.
Uncles swapping one daughter out for the other. Dude can't see in the dark at all.
Yeah.
Something's weird with that.
Women with weak eyes.
It's the insanity of the fact that this is a cornerstone for something millions and millions of people believe. Knowing that if you just turned this into a country tale, people would be like, holy shit, this is fucked up.
Not only believe, but they think it's literally true.
Right.
They think this is literally true. This literally happened, and it happened exactly how long ago it says it happened.
Right.
Too. We could go back to the story of creation with the beginning of Genesis and go through all that, but they think that's basically 10,000 years ago.
Right.
And they think literally everything came into existence that long ago, which obviously is not true. My biggest piece of evidence for that, in case anybody is not sure about this, is stars.
Yeah.
If it was true that the universe was less than 10,000 years old, we would only see a handful of stars in the night sky.
Right.
Because it takes, the speed of light for them to get there.
Yeah.
So otherwise,
that's Satan, Josh.
Well, that's Satan. Right. Satan was in charge of the stars.
He is the morning star.
Yes. And all the other ones. They're all morning stars.
Yeah. So I looked up. I was wondering. I know we're going to turn this into a two-parter, but before we two-part this bitch,
we can keep going too if you want to.
I looked up Esau because I'm like, what do people think he looked like? Because I'm picturing do you ever watch He-Man?
Which version?
The older He-Man, any of the He-Mans.
I was thinking of Hercules. Yeah,
He-Man. I can't remember the character's name, but on Skeletor's little team, there was that Beast guy that was all red and furry.
Oh yeah.
Do you remember who I'm talking about?
I vaguely recall. Yeah.
I can't remember his name, but anyway, that's what I'm picturing in my head when I think of him. But when I look up pictures of him, he just looks like a ginger.
Oh, that's an interesting idea. It never clicked for me that maybe he had red hair.
Yeah.
You just said he was red and hairy, but maybe it was red hair.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, well, no wonder people didn't like him.
Aww.
No, I don't mean that. I do think it's really funny that people have an issue with people with red hair.
I know, it's very weird.
Such a weird thing to not like about something.
It is super weird. But yeah, so
red hair is beautiful.
I know. I lived for a really long part of my life with red hair.
Yeah.
The only one that I saw that made me is this one where he looks like a beast man.
I know, like when they describe it in the Bible, it does sound
the wolf
like
man.
It does sound like, oh my God, she had a werewolf baby.
Yeah,
you know?
I mean there is that. There
is a disease.
Yeah, I can't remember what it's called, where you're covered. You know, your whole body's just covered with hair, and if it was red,
right,
like that would be really. But again, why wasn't she like, oh my God, kill
it? Yeah,
they were killing babies for far less things back then.
Right. Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
What a weird, crazy thing.
I know. So yeah.
She's nuts.
Which one? Rebecca?
All of them. But Rebecca, she's nuts.
Yeah, where she's showing clear favoritism. That seems to be a pretty big theme throughout the Bible.
Yeah.
Is like clear parents were totally playing favorites with their kids. And being all surprised when the other kids act up.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. That's so weird.
Yeah. We've come a long way with parenting.
Yeah. I don't know about that.
Yeah.
But you're your mother's favorite.
Well, I'm the only. So, yeah. Yep. So, that's the start. That's part 1 of the story of Jacob. Next time, we'll pick up the rest of the story of Jacob. We'll find out about an interesting wrestling match.
Ooh. Was there also oil involved in that?
We don't know. We don't know there wasn't. So in your mind, yes.
Fabulous.
All right. I think that's it.
Yeah. I mean, this is our first one, so we don't have a clever way to like close out the podcast yet.
Yeah.
Like,
you know.
like
it does kind of sound like a donkey's
there was no like, let's kill it mentality.